especially when we dive deep into the tools further. Now, there will be instances in the session where I will use the keywords such as laser sharp focus, focus now, etc. So those should be a trigger words to put, let's say, even if you're, casually looking at your phone, to put down your phone and then just start listening, right? And note that, write down, note, to record like things, whatever that is possible, absorb as much as you can. Although it is impossible for me to cover every hack, I will do my best to give you the most value. And please note that it is my promise for all of you that you will leave with foundation principles on how to think about automations, why it is needed in the first place, what is the checklist, how should I go on step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Right, I will leave you this entire thought process. How do you go about building an automation, right? Only when you promise me that you are going to give me about 19 to about 1.5 hours of your attention at least. Are we aligned with that expectation, everyone? The chat is open. Are we aligned with that expectation? Yes. Fantastic. Lovely. Love the energy. Let's go. All right, the chat will be closed right now. Cool. Now let's move on to the next set. Who am I? Why you should listen to me? I'm Akhil. I've been teaching about close to 7 to 8,000 folks so far on how do you build automations, how do you think about agents, and I've helped at least 1,000 students to build their AI-based products and MVPs that they can actually go and sell in the market. And through this journey, I found my nickname, that is Friendly Neighborhood Techie, which I always love given the Spider-Man fanboy I have been. Primarily, I'm working with clients right now to serve or help their like internalize the operations using AI to efficiently move their systems using automations and at least generating 3x to 5x revenue than what they already do. So and I believe this experience will be much more helpful for you to actually get more insights out of me during the session. And I'll trust me, I'll pump in so much energy and so much insight and value packed session. So you'll be, so no stone will be unturned, essentially. All right, let's move on. So here's everything we'll be covering. What is automation? Why automation? What types of automation that exist, and what is the difference between the different automations we have? And then we will slowly move on exploring what are the automation tools that are out there. But we will our focus today will be make.com. So make.com is an automation tool which is widely popular, and we will talk about why it is important, why not other tools, and then we will do a very interesting use case today on make.com. Right? Now, having said that, let's move on to understanding this particular statement. Every day, we will all perform like so many, uh, you know, time taking, effort taking, but straightforward tasks, right? And regular routine tasks as a working professional. Correct? Do you all agree with me? Yes, no, maybe. Hello? The chat is open. You know that, Akhil, I have to do these three steps only. I don't know why I'm doing that every single day. You know that, right? Across different functions and different roles that you are in. Correct? So because of them, at the end of each day, you'll either feel sleepy or you'll feel exhausted or you'll be questioning your life choice. Why am I in this role? Where did I fall into? Correct? Now, given that, let me ask you these questions. So why, like, what makes you think that, or what are the reasons that make you think that way? What are the reasons that make you think that way, that, oh, it's dizzy, it has taken me a lot of time, etc. Mundane work, repetitive, frustrating, low productivity, no challenge. Oh no, not again, right? Boredom, not that much interesting, monotonous, comfort zone. Yes, absolutely. All these are correct answers, right? So, what are the reasons if I were to put all of the answers into a couple of buckets? One is repetitive. Second is no or low brainer. That is, it takes very minimal brain effort or challenge to your brain. Third is low value addition. Like, it will add very low value to your day. It's not gonna give you a significant productive or adrenaline rush for your day. And on top of that, like, I don't know if it's cherry on the cake on the, or the vice versa, but it's efforts and time consuming. It'll take a lot of time. Correct? Yes. So that are the reasons that make us feel that way because of the nature of these tasks, right? So what is the solution? What is the solution? What do you think, everyone? What is the solution? Automate. Automate. Lovely. Yes. The solution is automation that makes it possible. So let's dive into it and see how it works. Okay. Now, what is automation? I'm going to put the chat on hold for a moment here. What is automation? Automation is the process of using technology to perform tasks with minimal human intervention. Right? Of course, I have to say with an accent there because it's a Google definition. Like, how else will I say it? But to me, automation is something that will give me a digital clone of me or give me a part of me that works 24/7. That is my definition of automation. But what do you think? What is your definition of automation? Let me ask in the chat. What is automation for you? Digital twin should work for me, make my life easy. Efficiency, time saver, digital assistant, repetitive tasks. Okay, exactly. Wonderful. 1.99 to 1% efficient. Okay, very interesting observation there. Interesting. All right. Yes. So those are all the valid reasons and those are all the valid answers because to everyone automation means something, right? And as long as it is helping you to automate, reduce your time, save some time or save your effort, it is an automation, right? I'm going to stop the chat here for a moment. Lovely. Now, what automations can do for you? All your reasons, as you said, it'll increase your productivity and efficiency. It'll save time and efforts, helps you scale with less resources, increase your availability 24/7, 365 days. I don't have to think about it. But the last point, but the very important point is robustness. So robustness is what? So it has to have very less human interaction with that automation, but it also should have less error rate. It should not have more errors because I'm not involved with it. Then I'd rather do that work all by myself. Correct? Awesome. Now let's move on. Out of all the types of automations that exist, what are automations that we are talking about today? Number one, robotics process automations like assembly lines, right? How many of you seen those YouTube videos where Lay's manufacturing, Tesla manufacturing, car manufacturing? Yes, no, maybe. Some or the other way, right? I've seen it. Correct? So I'm nowhere in a warehouse. We are nowhere in a manufacturing plant. So I'm not talking about robotic process automation like assembly lines. All right. Second, computer physical task automation. So this is a very limited use case. How many have you seen those job posting where you just go like the job posting is specifically meant for data form filling, manual data entry, right? So we are not talking about those automations where you're delegating that work to someone and they are doing it over a computer. That's not the automation we're talking about it, right? Now, but the automation that we are using or talking about is software task automation. What do I mean by that? Almost all the businesses and departments run on softwares today. Do you all agree with that statement? Almost all businesses and departments run on softwares today. Correct? So, automation makes it possible to enable talking between these particular platforms and see if things can work out. All right. Now, on that note, let's move on. And this is a very interesting proposition that we've came up with at Outskill. That is like how has been the evolution? Like let's dive a little bit on the evolution, right? We came up from the world where the third world, I'm not going to name the years and all, but you understand the third world scenario where humans were working with hands, like it's all about muscle, it's all about putting more effort to get more rewards. Correct? But from there we moved on to second world where humans started working with softwares, like taking help of softwares, and slowly and steadily the reward ratio has moved from muscle driven economy to a brain or intelligent driven economy, right? Or skill driven economy. And and the third part is where softwares are talking with softwares. Now, again, here as a human, it is your creativity, it is your expertise, it is your skill that will bring these automations in the first place. But at least you don't have to work every single time, every day. You'll just have to set it up once and then it will work for you rest of the time. Correct? Everyone? Yes? Wonderful. So that was the evolution we had from second to first world. Now you might be asking, Akhil, are automations new thing in the world? Like, is it the new thing or am I hearing it after a long time? Automations have been there for almost a decade. Honestly, automations have been there for almost a decade. But the automations have got their product market fit or reached their peak state all thanks to the AI, right? We will talk about how AI has made our life super easy with regards to automation and made so many things possible. All right, everyone, are you all with me until this point? Okay, I'm gonna wait for a minute. Yes, fantastic, fantastic. Let's keep that energy rolling. Now, big question to all of you. How do you think a software controls and works with another software? Think about it. Yes, Vansh, it's kind of an automation, yeah. All right. Communication interface, APIs, some binaries, cloud based things. Okay. Interesting, very interesting answers. All right. Cool. Let me explain. I'm going to hold the chat for a moment here. Let me explain. So, softwares works with software through a protocol called API. For all of you who said API, very good. For all of you who don't know API, please listen and pay attention. Laser sharp focus. Now, imagine you went to a restaurant, right? In that restaurant, you will order. Of course, you'll go into the restaurant, pick a table, and then sit and then call a waiter, where the waiter will take your order and then gets that instruction or that recipe and instructs the kitchen behind the scenes. Correct? So what it is doing, the waiter's job is take your request, right, and share that request to backend, that is the kitchen. Now what happens, the kitchen prepares the recipe and gives that need necessary information, in this case your food, back to the waiter so waiter can bring it to the table. Correct? That's the scenario that you do in restaurant. In the same way, API is a protocol, API is a form or a thing that will ensure that, let's say, if I my machine or my computer wants to talk to some other machine or some other software, right? How will it do? I will request for some information from my machine. The API will ensure go through the internet and talk to that machine or software and say that, hey, Akhil is asking for the information. Do you have it? If I'm an authorized person to get the information, the backend or the software behind the scenes will give me the information so I can see it on my computer. Clear? Everyone? Are we aligned with that explanation? Yes. So this is all about API. So API is all about fetching a request or taking the inputs from one end, going back, getting all the necessary information based on the request, and then responding back to the user. All right. Wonderful. On that note, what APIs can do with a software? Okay, let me explain you with a little bit of diagram here. All right. Okay, I think a lot of diagrams on my board. Okay, let's start here. Now, how many of you use Gmail? How many of you use Gmail? All right. Okay, almost everyone uses. Akhil, what are you asking? Yeah, I know. It's a question, right? So now, tell me a place where inside the Gmail app, right? What happens? Okay, let me write it this way. Uh, One sec. Oh, what's wrong with this? 1 second, folks. Okay. Can I say that the moment I refresh my Gmail app or open my Gmail app, right? Refresh or open my Gmail app, I get all the UI. I get all the inbox UI that displays my emails, correct? That displays emails in my inbox, correct? Everyone? Yes, no, maybe. So, can I say that the moment I open up my app, some or the other way, my phone is able to talk to Google behind the scenes, Google or Google servers or Google account behind the scenes servers, and fetching the relevant info of all the emails in my account, of all the emails in my account back to my UI. Yes, no, maybe. Can I say that? Correct. So, in other words, can I say that this is a read operation where I'm reading from Google accounts? Correct. Now let's talk about rightly in let's say if I'm sending an email, can I say that this is an operation or this is a process where I'm creating something out of the fly, creating new? Yes, no, maybe. So when I'm saying creating new, should I also there is a need for me to update that saying that hey, I've created a new information. So ensure this is part of my sent emails. Correct? So the process of you creating something, can I also say that this is a creation or a create process, right? Or in other words, can I also say this is also can be called as I'm posting something to Google saying that, hey, I've created email, so ensure this is updated in backend. Correct? Now, one of these, now I'm not saying both, one of these, you can call this or this, doesn't matter. Now let's talk about something else. I want to update something. Okay. I want to update something in my Gmail app. What is that place where I can update something? Inside the Gmail app, you can update something. All right. You can update drafts. Perfect. You can update labels. You can update your profile information. Very good. You can update your settings. Correct. Can I say that these all operations must be communicated again back to Gmail or Google servers behind the scenes? Right. So, what is this type of operation? This is called an update operation. Yes. I'm updating something. Right. Now, the last one inside Gmail, where what is that process or place where you will delete something? Recycle bin. Absolutely fantastic. Right. I don't have to tell it, but delete emails going to spam or like spam emails going to recycle bin. All right. Again, should I also say that the moment I do that operation, I should also update to Google that, hey, put this in my recycle bin. So next time I come in, I'll see that. Correct. Can I say this is a delete operation I'm performing? Right. Perfect. Receiving email is this, right? Reading. Correct. If I get an email, I'll have to read that, okay, who have sent it to me. So can I say that at every single interaction with my app, I'm some or the other way talking to Google servers behind the scenes? Correct? Yes, no, maybe. For every single interaction in my app, I'm some or the other way has to communicate to Google or Google servers that hey, something has happened in my email. So ensure it's also updated behind the scenes. Correct? So can I say that at every single time I'm making API calls, correct, to interact with that app? So, although I'm making the API calls, can I say that the type of API call will vary depending on my use case? Yes, no, maybe. Although I'm doing the API call operation only, the type of API call will vary depending on my use case and what is the end result, right? So that is what that means, that we have three to four, five different types of API, 4 or 5 different types of API protocols we will use depending on the use case. Okay, depending on the use case. Now, like fun fact, on an average, it was told that about a user, an average mobile user using different mobile apps uses approximately anywhere between 25K to 45K API calls per day. 25K to 45K API calls per day. It's a big thing. Like you don't even know, right? Yes, that's a big thing. Like every single click has to update. Every single click has to do something behind the scenes, right? Cool. Now, let's move on. Let's move on. Everyone, are you all with me until this point? Wonderful. Wonderful. So that's exactly what I have mentioned in this slide, like what are the different APIs and what are the different types of APIs. Now, let's move on to the next part. You might be wondering, Akhil, you spoke about APIs. I'm going to put the chart on hold for a moment here. Yes, this is for college students also. Yes. My question is, Akhil, you spoke about API. You've made us understand how API is trying to work behind the scenes, although not completely. Where can we find this API for my software? Let's say I want to talk to Google Sheets tomorrow. Let's say I want to talk to maybe, I don't know, OpenAI tomorrow. Maybe I want to talk to Slack tomorrow. How am I supposed to interact with these apps from my machine? Or where will I find this so called API that you're referring to? Right? Let's go and understand. Let's take an example of OpenAI. How many of you use ChatGPT? The chat is open for ChatGPT. Yes, wonderful. Okay. So can I say that? Okay, the chat is gonna be hold on a moon for a moment. So let's open OpenAI API. Okay. Every single input that you're going to send in inside ChatGPT as an app will have this kind of an API behind the scenes. Let me show that to you. Can you all see this particular CURL command here? I'll just take this onto my board. I want to prove some points, right? Right. Cool. Now, let me ask you this question. Okay. Let's say you have ordered from, I don't know, Uber Eats, Zomato, Swiggy, or Amazon, right? For the order to reach you, can I say that you should have an address handy or inserted somewhere so someone can deliver to you? Correct? Yes. So again, in the internet, can I also say that I should have some kind of an address that I can go and talk to, especially in the context of a software, right? So that is called this URL. So can you all see this URL? This is the URL that is responsible or acts as an address or a URL that says API that, hey, go to this particular URL and request for the thing that I'm asking right now. Clear? Yes. Yes, all the whiteboard screenshots will also be shared. Don't worry. Wonderful. Now, second, I have mentioned that. Okay, let me talk about the Google app again. When you go back to Google and talk to Google, right? Saying that, hey, fetch the emails in my account. Can I say that you are specifically asking to fetch emails in your account because you're logged in? Yes, no, maybe. Because you're logged in, you're saying only get the emails that are part of my account. I don't want someone else's emails, correct? So can I say that in a way you have authorized by logging in into your account, right? But in the context of API, in the context of API, how do you authorize? Like, how do you tell that, okay, this is coming from Akhil, this is coming from, let's say, Harshara, this is coming from Gauri Shankar, right? That concept, it will come from something called as API key. API key is more like your secret or a password that will tell OpenAI that Akhil is talking to you, right? Now you might be asking, Akhil, why is this important? Why are you teaching me what is important to OpenAI? Right? I'll tell you. How many of you know that? How many of you know that LLMs or ChatGPT or Anthropic or anything will need GPUs to run lot of heavy GPU graphic processing units or CPUs to run? Correct? Know it? So can I say that if a company like OpenAI is processing or using all these powers, don't you think they will consume some amount to run them, consume operational expense? Correct? On top of that, it's a company of, I don't know, maybe 500 to 600 folks. So it should also have to look forward to its salaries and profits and all that. Correct? What OpenAI will say that is, Akhil, since I have to take care of all of this, right? For every API call, for every API call, I'm gonna charge you some X amount for every API call that you're going to talk to me. I'm going to charge you some X amount. And that X amount is directly proportional or will be defined by what kind of model you're trying to use. Make sense, everyone? Is this clear? Why model? Because ChatGPT Pro model, if you use, it is more intelligent LLM. ChatGPT mini model is a very miniaturized intelligence, right? Now you might also be wondering, Akhil, how is all this pricing coming along? Like, is there a place we can see this pricing? Yes, absolutely. Click on the pricing section. Can you all see this, everyone? GPT 5.2, GPT 5 Nano. If you look at this difference, let's do this. 5 Nano and 5.1, 5.2. For an input, $1.75, and 9 Nano, look at the Nano, $0.05. And for an output, $14, for an output, $0.4. Now you might be wondering, is it for every API call, Akhil? No, this is prices per million tokens. Now I'll explain you one simple thing in here. Let's go back to drawing board. So Chat GPT 5.2 model charges you $1.5 for input and $14 for output. It's around about $15 for 1 million tokens. What do I mean by that? So ChatGPT 5.2, let's say with this API, let me talk about this in just a moment. Can you also see this after OpenAPI API key? I'm defining the model and input to this particular API. Yes, no, maybe. I have to give my inputs only, then it'll give me back the response. Remember the concept of waiter. My inputs are use this model, use this prompt, get me the answer, right? Now let's say if my input that I'm sending with my API is more than 1 million tokens, is about 1 million tokens. What is 1 million tokens equivalent? 1 million tokens is almost equal to 4 million alphabets or numerical characters, alphanumeric characters, which is approximately 750K words. Yeah, the board will also be shared, don't worry. Right? So if I am sending or if I'm giving an input of this much, if I'm giving an input of this much, then ChatGPT or OpenAI will charge you $1.5 for that input. Okay. Let's say if the output of that chat GPT is also this much, is also this much, then it will charge you $14. Make sense, everyone? In the grand scheme of things, don't you think this looks cheaper? For 750K words, that's technically about, I don't know, some 10 books of input that you give to a model. You'll be charged $1.5. Okay, let me explain this here in a chat GPT. I'll open my chat GPT. Now here, can I say this? What I'm trying to say is if you give an input here, that is the prompt of 1 million, or in other words, 750K words length, long input. Here, I'm not typing it. If you give the input here and ensure your model is 5.2, okay? Ensure your model is 5.2, then ChatGPT will incur an expense of about $1. On top of that, they will charge you $5.5 extra. Make sense, everyone? Is this making clear now? So when I ask a question, it will generate an output for me. Yes, no, maybe. When I ask a question, it will generate an output. So if that output is also, overall combined, it gives a 750K words output overall, right? Then it will charge you $14. So that means this is a relatively cheaper pricing. It's not a very too much pricing, right? But if you look at nano model is how much? This is 0.05 and this is 0.4. There's a ton of difference with the pricing for the same time of input and output, right? Why? Because ChatGPT 5.5 nano is a smaller brain. It has a limited capacity to think. It has a limited understanding. It has a limited context to vary. Make sense? Everyone? Everyone, are you good until this point? So, because they have to charge you this much or this money to you, don't you think they should also have an identifier that will tell you that or that they should have an identifier that will identify you and charge on your card? Yes, no, maybe. So that is the reason why always every API key will have an every API will have an API key that will act as an authorization for the company, and it also lets them to charge on your account if that is a paid API. Cool. Now we've also understood what kind of input output we are giving in. So that completes our discussion on what is the structure of an API. All right, everyone, are we good until this point? Structure of the API. Although I'm trying to make a little more sense with different things here. First is address or URL. Where should the API go and talk to? API key that will authorize that, hey, Akhil is talking to you and you can charge Akhil's card. And what kind of inputs it should carry alongside with it so it can get the response back to us. Okay, cool. Now that having said it, let's move on and understand. So this is exactly the API. What is the structure of API? That's exactly what I've discussed. Now, let's talk about this. I say that although I made you understand a little bit, don't you think this is a bigger roadblock for you? Although you were able to understand a few things of this, don't you think it's a bigger roadblock for you to work on these eight APIs, right? And don't you think it needs a little bit of expert level knowledge on how do you navigate through these APIs and understand when to use what, etc., 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 right? Right. So that is the insight. That is the insight that led to the biggest pioneers of companies like Zapier and Make.com that we see today. What they saw was, what they saw was, hey, the bigger roadblock for any non-tech folks, right? Why do they are focusing on non-tech folks? Because these are the folks who are opportunists. These are the folks who make strategy decisions. These are the folks who kind of carve the next set of wave or take that, big leaps. not the tech folks. Tech folks are typically the person you give work, they do it and they just close that loop there, primarily, right? But you are all the folks that they think is has to be empowered, so you can solve these problems with all by yourself without the need of a developers. Not every time, but to an extent. And you can get and solve that bigger problem and take much more strategy decisions, take much more calculated decisions without wasting your time on this mundane, day to day, time consuming tasks. Make sense? Everyone, why the evolution have happened for these no code or low code platforms, right? That was the insight that these platforms have got, and they started building that for everyone. Now, what are the top no code, low code platforms do we have in the market? Zapier, Make, Power Automate, Automate.io, Pabbly, Kissflow, and so many other things. Now, the thing here is, although these all tools are there are every tool comes with its pros and cons, right? For us to begin with, we will go with make.com. For us to begin with, we will go with make.com. Why make.com? Number one, low cost when it compared to Zapier, right? It almost it almost is 20 times less than what Zapier costs you. Second, it gives you a very beautiful visual automation canvas for you to build. It gives you easy navigation, it gives you easy interface. Having said all of things are easy, on top of that, the best part about make.com is it is also reliable. It is also reliable, right? Makes sense. Everyone, why are we learning make.com today? There are questions coming from, hey, Akhil, what about N8N, N8N, N8N? See, N8N is a platform that needs a little bit of learning curve. It needs for you to understand what is different things, how do you configure different things, how do you move different things, how do you import data, export data, and other extra things that you need to worry about. But make.com is your easy entry into your automation world. Make sense? Wonderful. Now, the question that you need to answer, remember, I promised you on, I will leave you with foundational principles on how do you think about what can be automated and what cannot be automated, right? So look into this slide carefully, laser sharp focus. I'm going to hold the chat here. I'm going to put the hold on the chat here. Laser sharp focus here. Number one, what can be automated? Tasks or processes that are software based. Again, we are using software based, what do you say, automations only. And let's say there's a software which does not provide API, or it does not, it's not internally supported by make.com. There's no way you can automate that particular software. Okay. Second, you should only automate things when it is repetitive. Of course, it goes unsaid, it's implicit, but I'm making it a straightforward point once again. Third, you can only automate few things or automate processes only if they can be defined over a flow chart. What do I mean by flow chart? Like, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. This is step one, this is step two, this is step three. Like, you know that these are the predefined steps, you know the rules, you know the conditions, you know the logics on how do you create or chart out this workflow. If you have yes for all these three things, then that particular situation or problem at hand can be automated. Now, what cannot be automated? Processes that cannot be automated are ad hoc tasks. What is an ad hoc task? Let's say tomorrow, your boss comes to you and says that, hey, write me an email for that particular client, or draft a Canva PPT for me. That's an ad hoc thing, right? If you were to create automation for every ad hoc thing, it'll increase or double or triple your time rather than you finishing that time in the specified tasks. Second, as I said, if the software is not supported, then there is no way you can create that automation in that software. Either you have to pick another software, or you will have to scrape that particular use case saying that this cannot be automated because there's no API for us. Clear? Everyone, are you all with me? The chat is back to open. All right, fantastic. Now, now let's go into our discussion. Once again, pre-automation checklist is this. Create a flowchart with steps and logic. Create a list of all softwares or apps involved in the automation process. Check if your software provides API access, right? Only if these three things are at your disposal, you'll be able to create an automation. Are we good with that particular explanation? Now, let's move on. This is going to be very fun packed session on make.com, right? We are going to start diving deep into the make.com from here on. All right. Now, I want to make this point that the problem statement that we're going to solve today, the problem statement that we're going to solve today is this. Listen to the problem statement carefully. Vipul Rana, please do not spam. What happened to you? Okay, I'm going to hold the chat here for a moment. Now, the problem statement is, consider you are a business owner. You are a business owner. For any brand, D2C brand or any other food brand, etc. Your job is to, your pain point or your challenge is to increase the social media posts of your company. You use channels such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn to broadcast or to drive traffic to your website or app. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, the current state of the situation is you manage all your social media activities using Google Sheets right now alongside a team of writers, one writer plus social media manager. Okay, clear everyone? What is the current state and what are you trying to solve? Is the problem statement clear? The chat will be open here. Yes, this is your problem statement. I want you to think about how are we going to solve this problem, right? I want to think about how are we going to solve this problem. Now I'm going to walk through how do you manage your social media in a Google Sheet. Okay, I'm going to, let me open my Google Sheet. Just give me 1 second here. For those of you who didn't understand problem statement, don't worry. The moment I talk about or explain the Google Sheets at hand, you'll be able to make sense out of it. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, let me show that to you. Okay. Perfect. Can you all see the screen? Everyone? Yes. Wonderful. Now, listen to this carefully. I'm going to hold the chat for a moment here. This is very important for you to crack the problem. All right. Understand what is the current system. Now, this is the system you have as a B2B owner or business owner to manage your social media channels. Now, you have columns such as ideas go here, content control, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and an image for those particular posts. Now, what you will do ideally is you'll open this sheet, you'll come back here. Because you are a business owner, you'll come here. Let's say today you want to talk about food, let's say food hygiene uh, and quality standards. Okay. And tomorrow you want to talk about how to save money for restaurant business. Okay. Let's say these are the topics or the ideas with which you want to generate the content on. Because you are a founder or a business owner, your job is to just give ideas because you have a team of writer and social media manager in place. What will they do? So you will come here, make these ideas, and click on this content control stage drop down, and gonna say generate content. Move these ideas to generate content stage. Right? You gave the idea, you manually moved them to generate content stage. Now, what happens is your team of writers, let me move this here, let me delete this. Your team of writers will write something. Okay. Depending on the Facebook, Instagram, and all, I'm just doing a gibberish here. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, the team of writer will do it. And also maybe the social media manager alongside them, they will generate an image, some PNG image. Clear? Once they write these posts and generate an image for you or create an image in Photoshop or Canva, they will make it ready for review. What happens is they will write them down, but they want someone to review. Because you're a business owner, they are like, Akhil, can you review this once? I'm like, okay, sure. You've already written, you've done already the hard work. I'll rather just review and just make some changes. So I'll probably, given my review, I'll probably make some changes like this. I'll maybe add some hashtags, hashtag one, whatever that is. And let's say this is already okay. And let's say image is also okay. Once I feel, once I make the necessary changes or add necessary changes, I will move this content from ready for review to create a post stage. Inside create a post stage, what happens is your social media manager will come in and they will take over. What they will do, they will take this Facebook post, they will take this Facebook post alongside this image and combine them and manual upload in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Clear? They manually upload them every single day. Once you upload, the social media manager will come back in. He or she will make this stage as post done. So what happened here is you have took an idea from its inception stage. You've asked your team to generate content in the first step. That is number one. Once team generates the content with image and all, they will send it back to you for review. Once you review and make necessary changes, again you'll send it back to the team where social media manager takes over and uploads all of them in the respective social channels. Once that is done, the social media manager will come back and update saying that, hey, Akhil, I've uploaded them successfully. I've also marked this as done. Clear? Everyone, did you understand what is the current system in place? The chat is open. Did you all understand the current system in place? Crystal clear, right? So now, so now I want you to think, I want you to take 5 minutes. I want you to take 5 minutes and think about how are you going to solve this problem. I want to take I'm going to, put this screen pause here. I want you to think about 5 minutes here, just 5 minutes, and think about how are you going to solve this problem. I don't know. I'm not talking about make.com and other things here. I'm only talking about what will be the first step, what will be the second step, what will be the third step. Can I save some money? Can I save some resources? Can I save some time? How are you going to solve about it? Think about it. Let's take a short 5 minute break and then come back. Clear? Everyone? Yes, no, maybe. Right? I want everyone to think about this as you go through the break. Get some water, but sit and think. All right. Funny, let's take a 5 minute break.
Yes, yes. I'll let your screen be probably so
Yeah,
that people can read the problem statement clearly. But
correct.
yeah, we'll
Sure.
come back in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone, we will be back. We will start working on this problem statement from 2:46 p.m. IST. Jaskirat, in about 1.5 hours, I think we will be able to complete the automation and end the session as well. So go ahead, think about the problem statement, and also grab some water for the next part of it because it'll be a demo of how can you go ahead and build it on make.com. Yeah, Adya, you will understand as we move forward as well. I'll just close the chat so that all of you take this break and then come back. All right, is everyone back? Perfect, perfect. I think we can get started, Akhil.
All right. Yes. Now that you've got enough time to think about this idea, now tell me, what is the first step for me to extract the ideas into an automation like this? Let's say if I want to do something like this, what is the first step? Where should I read the data from? Let's go step by step. It's okay. Let's go step by step. Where should I read the data from? Everyone. Sheets. Absolutely. Yes. So I need to read the data from Google Sheets, especially the document that I have that is named as content plan sheet. All right. Clear? Now, what should I do? Like, ideally, what is the current process? The current process is I will give the ideas, team will write them for it, I will review the ideas, they will post it, and they will update back in the sheet. Correct? I'm going to share this sheet, don't worry. Just focus on the session. Again, I'm updating. This is the stages of workflow where first you will generate the content, the team will generate it and make it a review. You will review the content and then ask team to post. They will post it and then they will update you saying it the post is done. Perfect. Now, first things first. First things first. For us to understand whether the automation is possible or not. Remember the automation checklist that I shared just a moment ago, right? We need to create a flowchart with steps and logic, which we'll create in just a moment. First, let's create a list of softwares or apps involved in the automation process. Right? What are the softwares and apps everyone that are using? Come on, what are the softwares and apps I'm using? Google Sheets, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Correct? This is my current. So, can I say that if I intend to use make.com, can I say that I should check whether these apps are supported by make.com or not? Yes, no, maybe. Isn't something I should look into? Correct? So, I'm going to hold a chat for a moment here. Let's go to make.com. You can register for make.com. They have good enough free trial. You don't have to pay for it. I've not even paid a single penny until this point, at least in my testing and other personal use cases. Now, the moment you land onto the login, you'll land onto something like this. Don't worry here. Go into something called as templates on the left hand side. On the left hand side, I think fifth or the fourth option, you'll have something called as templates. The moment you click on templates, can you see these are all our public templates that are given out by make.com. Now, this is a place I need to search for the apps, whether the make.com supports or not. First thing, Google Sheets. I'm going to type it in here and select the app. Can you see? I'm seeing a lot of workflows that uses Google Sheets here. That means it gives me a sign that Google Sheets is a very well supported platform or a software inside make.com. Second, I'm going to search for Facebook. Now again, see Facebook. It is supporting. Now what else we have? Instagram, right? Instagram for business. Remember, it's not for personal. And also note this point: no other automation tool, including N8 and any other automation tool, Meta does not allow to automate your social media from personal accounts. Please get that, straight. Meta does not allow personal accounts to be automated or handled via external third-party apps like Make.com, Zapier, or N8. So it has to be a business account. Okay. So Instagram for business, I've selected it. All of these are supported. So Instagram is also possible. Let's search for LinkedIn. I clicked on LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is seen across different pages. That means it's also supported. So first things first, what is the first checklist? Create a list of softwares involved. I've created the list and I've also verified if that is supported by make.com or not. Okay. Now, now, first job is done. First job is done. Okay. One sec. All right. First job is done. Now, the look into the problem I have at hand. I want to increase social media posts of your company, right? Now, my question to you is, would you increase by hiring more writers and social media managers, or would you try to optimize for money also there? Question to you. First option or second option? Would you increase or would you hire more people to get more job done, or would you optimize for money and use the existing resources to get the more job done? Correct. Second option. Absolutely. So I should also save money along the way. Now, my question to you, is there a way I can get rid of my writer and social media manager? Is there a way I can get rid of writer and social media manager? I'm not saying completely, but to a very large extent. Yes, yes. How? AI, LLM, ChatGPT. Correct. So can I also say that if I want to eliminate their role, I should also use some kind of an OpenAI node or something. I should also see if OpenAI as a node is supported by chat make.com or not. Can I check for its compatibility? How should I check? Again, go to make.com, under templates, search for OpenAI. OpenAI. Can you see? OpenAI is widely resourcefully popular node across different make.com. It's an endless scroll, technically. Clear? So it also proves my point that again OpenAI is also supported. Now my question to you, listen carefully. Yeah, Google Gemini also, it will support. Now, once I read the ideas, what should I do? Let's say I've sent an idea this. That is food hygiene and quality standards. What should I do now after I wrote the idea? What happens in ideal scenario? I'll just write idea and give it to my team. Who will write? Writer will write. But I want to eliminate the role of a writer. Use AI to write. Correct? Absolutely. So what will I do is my first step is using an AI, that is OpenAI, to write a draft, to write for me, to write the captions or posts for me. Clear? Now what should I do apart from this? If it's an ad hoc, don't automate it. Don't think about open like automating it. What happens after this? I wrote the caption. I wrote the caption. Should I also do or do something? Caption is done. Images, absolutely fantastic. Yes, you should also create an image. Correct. I will again use OpenAI to create an image. To create an image. Okay, I'll think create one image only. I'll use it for all the posts. It should be possible. Now, what should I do after that? What should I do after that? Review it. Correct. But for me to review, are they pasted or inserted in the Google Sheets yet? For me to review, are they inserted in the Google Sheets yet? Right. So that means it calls for me to actually update by them. Once we generate, we need to update them in the Google Sheets. Correct. Once I update them in the Google Sheet, when will I check? Will I check all these content ideas or will I check the ones only that are in ready for review stage? Will I check all the content ideas or will I only check the ones that are in ready for review stage? Only for ready for review. Can I also say that while I update them in the Google Sheet, I should also move the status to ready for review? Correct? Clear everyone? Is this clear until this point? Right? Again, I'm doing a flow chart. I'm not building any make.com here. I'm just doing a flow chart on how do you optimize it. First, we will read the ideas from Google Sheets and what type of ideas we will take, on what stage of ideas we will take. Everyone, do we take all these ideas? Do we take all these ideas? No. The ideas which are in generate content stage only, correct? The ideas which are in generate content stage. So essentially, here I will consume ideas which are in generate content stage. Correct? Now, next, let's say all of these are created, you have reviewed it. Once you review, what will you do? You will ask to create a post, correct? Once you review, you will make that to create post. Then what happens? Who will come over? Who will take over? Ideally, in your current process, team, social media manager, SMM will take over and manually upload, correct? But can because make.com supports Facebook, Instagram, and all, don't you think I can automatically upload? I don't have the need of social media manager here. Yes. So can I say that I should also consume the ideas? I should also consume the ideas which are in the state create post. I should also consume the ideas which are in the state create post, right? And generate content is something that is done here. This is generate content stage. So I should have ideally create and like I should ideally consume ideas which are in these two stages and respectively channelize them according to the idea that they or the stage that they belong to. Correct? Yes, no, maybe everyone. So now what should I do here? I will read the idea that is in create a post stage. What will I do here? I will start publishing. Correct? I will start publishing. I'll first publish to Facebook and then probably I'll publish to LinkedIn or Instagram. Let me write it Instagram, right? And once we do that, we will also publish that to LinkedIn. Correct? What should I do after that? After I publish to all of this, what should I do? Update. Correct. Update back in Google Sheets. And but this time the status will be what? Post done. Correct? Post done. So now someone is asking, we missed review stage, we missed review stage. Can I say that review is done by you? Review is done by you. You will review and you will move that stage to create post stage. Only when that idea is in create post stage, automatically again automation will kickstart and then take that idea, upload them accordingly, and then update back in the Google Sheet saying, hey, status is done. So far, we are closed with that particular thing. Clear? Can I say that I can scale from one post to five posts a day, even with a writer and SSM? Let's say if I want to have them, you being wholesome person, not to fire them, even if they're doing it, you don't have to review also, no? Because they will review and they will approve most of the time. Clear? Yes. Why not create post parallelly instead of sequential? How does it matter? As long as it is posted in like different platforms, how does it matter it's they are parallelly posted or sequentially posted? It's not time constrained or deadline based activity, no. It's not a project submission or a assignment submission, right? If not approved, what happens? There is no status for rejected material. Like that's if not approved, what will you do? You will probably call writer and say that, hey, review this material, this is not good, generate this again, and then just start posting it. Correct? Yeah, that's all it is. Clear, everyone? Are we good with the flow chart that we made here? Did you understand how can we utilize the role of AI here? Yes, no, maybe. Perfect. Yeah, we will also talk about scheduling posts a little bit there. Perfect. Now I'm going to stop the chat here for a moment. I'm going to stop the chat here for a moment. Let's talk about how do we try to implicate or replicate the exact same flowchart in our make.com. All right. Let's go to make.com. On the top or in the click on homepage, you will see something called as on the top create scenario. Just click on create scenario. Scenario is another word for creating workflow, another word for creating automation. Now, I will just do the same thing that we have put on the board. First things first, I will have to connect a Google Sheet that will read through my content in like content plan sheet, right? And I will only read the ideas that are in the stages generate content and create post. All right. Now I'll click on this Google Sheet. Now my question to all of you here, here, which one should I pick? Add arrow, update arrow, bulk update arrow, search arrow. Which one should I pick? Search, right? I need to search the rows based on a condition, correct? So I'll click on search the rows. Now, first things first, it will ask you for Akhil, give me the document in which I need to search, do the search operation. I will connect my account. If you're new to this, click on add and sign in with Google. Automatically, the account will be created. Now, select the from the drive, of course. Select the spreadsheet ID. I'm going to write content plan ID, content plan sheet, right? The moment I write content plan sheet, it is showing me which sheet, Akhil. Is it sheet 1 or sheet 2? Is it sheet 1 or sheet 2? Let's go back to content plan sheet. If you see carefully, it's sheet 1. It's sheet 1. All right. Now let's click on sheet 1. Now, here, this gives an option of filtering. What are the rows that I need to filter, everyone? Of all the rows present, what are the rows I need to filter based on what condition? If my content control is equal to generate content, or if my content control is equal to create post. Yes, generate content and create post. These two are the ideas that I will encourage to consume. Lovely. Now let's go in and click on this. First, I'll select the column that is when content control is equal to, I'm going to type in here, generate content. One rule here is if this is case sensitive. So let's say if you have written everything in capital letters, you will have to give here the entire capital letters. Here, if you see G and C are capital and everything in small letters, again, the same whatever I've written here, it has to be exactly matching. It cannot be one letter here and there. Okay. Now, what is next rule? Add an OR rule. Add an OR rule. Once again, content control is equal to create post. Correct? And save this up. Once I save this, what is this? This is a trigger that will kickstart the automation. Again, you might be asking, Akhil, what is a trigger? Trigger is something just like us humans. Don't you think we will need an external trigger from our colleague, boss, or family and friends to do some action? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Correct. In the same way, automations need an external event or an activity that will trigger them to make some activity or make some actions according to the event. And that is what we are capturing here. The event here is when or search for all the rows inside this and generate content and create post. All right. Now I'm going to run this and see what happens. Let's run this. It ran successfully. And can you see there is only one post in the one row in the entire sheet that says how to save money for restaurant business. And that is the stage where create post is there. And we've also got row number 14. Let's go and see row number 14. Can you see row number 14? How to save for money restaurant business, and that is in the create post stage. Makes sense? I'm going to talk about scheduling this. Don't worry, team. Okay. Yes. So row number 14, because the idea is in this stage, I have searched for that row and filtered it for myself. All right. Now what should I do? Now what should I do? What should I do? Don't you think I should route them based on the stage here? Correct? I should route them or filter them again. Who will be adding the ideas? You will be adding the ideas to the sheet, right? So here, first I'll click on something called as router, right? Search for router. The moment you select for router, can you see Automatically, you've got two bubbles popped up, right? Bubbles popped up. Guide again how to do the scenario part. So you can go back to make.com, open that, and one sec, let it load. Let me save this so I'm not losing the progress. Yeah, on the top, click on create scenario. That's all. All right. Yeah, you can also exist the existing scenario. Correct. Now let's go here. We have a router. Now inside the router, can you see the settings icon here? Right. What is the settings icon? It's essentially a filter. So I can set up a filter here saying that this is a generate content path. Right. I'm going to say allow the ideas where if I put a hover or of my cursor here, you will see all the rows or things received from my Google Sheet node earlier or Google Sheet module earlier. I will click on content control. If my content control is equal to generate content, if my content control column has an equivalent answer that is equal to generate content, only then that particular idea will flow in here. Or if this is what post creation path. Again here, if my content control is equal to create post. Remember, I'm ensuring everything is case sensitive. Save it. Can you see? This is generate content path. This will only encourage or flow the ideas that have generate content as the content stage. And we have post creation path. Is this clear so far? Everyone? Is this clear? Are we exactly replicating what we are seeing in the Excalibur or whatever we have flow charted? Correct. Now let's start with the top, on the top of the image. Now, what is the first thing? Once we get an idea, we will take that idea, all right? We will put that to OpenAI. Under OpenAI, we have different things here. So go with generate a completion. Now, remember the API key concept I've spoken about earlier, everyone? So this is something you will have to get from OpenAI. We have already got it, right? How do you get it from OpenAI? You will have to log into this particular portal, platform.openai.com, log into this. You should load about $2-3 into your wallet, and OpenAI will give you an ability to generate an API key that is unique to you. Okay, so it's a prepaid account or a prepaid wallet. You'll have to load something into that, create an API, get that API back to this particular ad box and paste it here. Clear? You can always ask ChatGPT for instruction. It'll guide you on how do you create this OpenAI API key. Are we good until this point? Everyone? Now, second, which model are we using? I can use a simple model. I don't want to use humongous model. Maybe GPT 4.1 mini or something. Yeah. Very cheap, but gets the job done model. Right? Yeah. The last one I said, you can refer to ChatGPT and ask, how do I create an OpenAI API key? Right? Or you can just click on this online help that will also direct you to the make.com documentation on how do you create this OpenAI API key and insert it here. All right, cool. Now I'm going to add a message. What is a message? You can also try Gemini. It might be or might not be free depending on what kind of partnership they have with make.com. Now, you as a user, I need to enter a prompt, correct? So where is the prompt I'm getting from? So now I've prepared a bonus for all of you. Do you want to see the bonus, everyone? Do you want to see the bonus? Yes, no, maybe. Right? So the bonus is in the same sheet, which I'm going to share it with you in shortly. I have prepared a sheet too, where whatever I'm going to discuss here, whatever I've said earlier, everything is picturized and done in here automatically. You can take it as a reference absolutely and free to use. Right? So, first things first, I need to create a prompt. I need to create a prompt. So I'll just use this prompt for our purpose. Absolutely. Yes, you're most welcome, everyone. Let's focus on the session once again. Okay, I'm going to put the chat on the hold. Now, I'm going to take this prompt that I've already created for you. You can plug and play directly. What you have to do is go to this particular text content section and place that particular prompt here. Okay. The only thing you need to do is, can I say that this is a prompt? And for every prompt, I should give my idea also with it to generate content for it. Yes, no, maybe. For every prompt, I should also dynamically give the idea with it. Correct? How will I give my idea? So if I just click anywhere in the text box, automatically again the notes from previous sheets which we have retrieved will be seen. Under that, select ideas. Just drag and drop that here. Just drag and drop that here. So every single time you give a new idea, or every single time this workflow fetches a new idea, it'll automatically populate that here. Okay. Now, here again, save this, double click on this. One thing you need to look into here is go to advanced settings, scroll down. Can you see this is a text prompt, text format? Yes, the response format is text. Ensure it is JSON. Ensure this is JSON and you need to parse the JSON. I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the prompt carefully, inside the prompt, can you see that I'm asking generate me this, correct? Generate me these three things in this particular structure, right? Now, what is the point that I'm trying to do it in JSON is because if it is JSON or JSON object, it is easy for me to isolate. And once it is isolated, don't you think I'll be able to come back to this sheet and manually drag and drop into the respective columns here? Yes, no, maybe. Only when they are isolated while generation, I should be able to separate them and drag and drop into the sheet in the update step. Remember, we have to update it somewhere, correct? So for us to update and isolate them and drag and drop into the respective columns, it is very important for you to make this JSON object yes and parse and yes. That's all. That is the only thing you need to do. Now, second, what we have to do until this? JSON is a format that is understood by make.com and other APIs and other computer algorithms much more faster. All right. Now, we've done this. We've done this. What should we do now? Create an image. Correct? Create an image. So let's do this. Go to this. Again, click on OpenAI. This time, instead of a response and all, I'll scroll down and search for generate an image. Generate images. We have it. Which model again it is asking? I'm going to select GPT image 1.5 state of the art image model. I'm going to give the prompt. What is the prompt again? I've given the prompt to you in the sheet 2 of this for the image as well. Copy the same prompt or you can feel free to modify for your use case. Again, I should send my idea. Remember, I should always send my idea here in the next line. Only then it will be able to generate based off of that idea. So where is that idea coming in from everyone? From the Google Sheets node under the ideas column. I'll drag and drop that particular idea. The sheet will be shared. Don't worry, Shaurya. Save. Clear? This is also done. Now, what is the last thing? Update them in the Google Sheets. Correct? Let's see. But once, let's test it until this point. Shall we test it? For us to test it, let's move back to sheet one. Let's move back to sheet one. Scroll down and make this to create a post. Let me delete all of this. Make this to generate content stage. Okay. So this time, although it takes 13 and 14 in the first step, it will only read the 13th one and flow into the first above path that we have created. I'm putting the chat on hold for a moment here and then we will just test it out. Let's see. Let me run this once. We have Google Sheets. Can you see automatically only one thing is filtered, right? Wherever the content is generate content, that one is filtered. That is going in here. Okay. It is asking us to use another model. Let's use another model, DALI 3, right? Save it. Maybe try once again, run once again. Okay. Text is generated. You can see that this is generated. This is in green color, light green color, or parrot green color. Let's wait and watch if the image will also be created or not. All right. It says the image is also created. You can click on this on the top right. You will see this output images. Here's the image URL it has given us. Let me check and open it in a new image. Okay. Something is, I might have not copied the entire one. Okay, but okay. The URL is also created. Everything is created. Now, can I say that I have to update this in my Google Sheet as per my diagram? Yes, no, maybe everyone. The chat is open. I should update this back in my Google Sheets along with the status message. Correct? So let's do that. Let's update it. Let's go back in here and click on this. Click on Google Sheets. Now I need to update a row, not add a row. The row is already present. I need to update a row. So click on update a row. The same thing as usual, connection, you give the path, etc., etc. I'm going to give content plan sheet. All right. Select the sheet, sheet one. Now it is asking row number. If you remember carefully, the first node also got us row number. I just need to update that particular row number for this execution, correct? I'll directly drag and drop that in here. Now, what are all the things I need to update? Facebook content. If you see, if I click on Facebook content, in the OpenAI stage, I've generated 3 output. Remember, I need to isolate it. I have isolated them using JSON. I will expand this menu. I will just drag and drop the text to text box. Again, for Instagram, I have a caption and other things. Caption to Instagram content. LinkedIn, again, LinkedIn post, text to LinkedIn content. Now, what is the content control stage, everyone? As per my diagram, I have to move it to ready for review. So we'll write it here, ready for review. Okay. And the last part I need to update is image as a URL. In, in the previous step, I've created image, the URL of that image, and I have to update it here and save it. What did I do essentially? I have updated the status ready for review because the content is done. It has to be reviewed now. I've updated all the content pieces that I've created from this node. And I've also updated with the image that I've created in just before node. And I'm saving that particular thing. Now let's see it in action once again from end to end. Okay, let me save this, auto align this, run this. Let's see. All right, it's generating an image. Image generation usually takes about 30 seconds ish. It also says I have updated that in Google Sheets, Akhil. Let's go and watch. Can you see this, everyone? Can you see this? Is this brilliant? I did not lift a finger. Automatically, it has got everything that I need for all of these things along with an image. Let's watch this image. Where is it? Nice. I think it's doing a good job. Of course, there are a few words here and there which we can just always get into. Right? It does a decent job here. That's not a problem. Clear? Now, what is the next step? What is the next step? We've done with the above flow. Second flow, right? Just post it out. Correct? So now let's test it with that one also. Let me stop the chat for a moment here. Watch carefully again, laser sharp focus. I'm going to go back to this. Click on this. Give Facebook. Again, remember Facebook pages you should have because this is a business account. You need to create a post, right? Okay. Page. I have to select which company page I have. Post caption. I will get from Facebook content. All right, drag and drop. Even if this is empty, don't worry, just drag and drop because that is the content it has to take. It is asking for link. Link is another word for URL of the image. Drag and drop the image part. So Facebook, I've given caption and link for the image. So it will be automatically posted. Second, let's do that with Instagram. Instagram for business. Again, create a photo post is something I need to look into. Click on this. And again, I've created or logged into my social media account. That is the business page. Again, click on photo URL. What is the photo URL? That is the image. Drag and drop the image. What is the caption? The one that is present in Instagram content. Drag and drop that particular thing. Save it once again. All right. Now, third one, LinkedIn. LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, the best part about LinkedIn is you don't have to have a company account. You can do with personal accounts in LinkedIn. That is good. Good job by make.com or LinkedIn. So now I'm going to create a user image post. That means I'm going to post in my LinkedIn, official LinkedIn channel or account. If you see, upload by link, upload by file. These are two types that are given to us. Do I have a file handy? Yes, no, maybe everyone. Do I have any file handy here? No, right? For us to have a file, it has to be like a document I have to click and then upload it. So I have a link. So choose upload method by upload by link. Give the image URL. Where is that? Image to image. The title is not the title that you think it is. Title and alt text, leave it as is. Create the content. If you see the star mark represents, this is mandatory. Prajwal, please don't spam. Thank you. Now, content. What is the content I'm going to type in? LinkedIn content. Save it up. All right. Now, what did we do? We have updated everything and given all the inputs for these necessary modules. Facebook needs Facebook content and image, we gave it. Instagram needs the same URL and the caption, we gave it. LinkedIn needs the image URL and the content, we gave it. What should I do next? What should I do next, everyone? The chat is open. What should I do next? Update. Absolutely. Fantastic. We've done this. We've done this. We've also done this. We need to update them back in the Google Sheet. All right. Lovely. Let me put the chat on hold. Go to the make.com. Click on this. Google Sheets. Update a row. The same operation. Select content plan sheet. You'll get all the rows populated here after you select the sheet. Row number, do you have the row number? Yes, we have the row number from the first one. Row number, placed it here. Now again, what is the only thing I need to change here? I just need to come here and say post is done. That's the only thing I have to change because everything is already updated. I only have to change this content control at the last step. Save it up. Okay. Save. Align. There's an auto align feature. If you click on it, automatically it will align your canvas. Now, is this exactly looking on how did we visualize in the flowchart, everyone? Almost the same. Yes. Now let's test it end to end. Now let's test it end to end and how it is working. Okay. I'm going to put the chat on hold. Watch carefully on how it is working end to end. I'm going to move this to generate content again. I'm going to delete all of this. Remove this. Make it post done. It's okay. Now let's start from generate content. Remember, you give the idea and move this stage to generate content. And see, you can see that run every 15 minutes. What do I mean by that? If I enable this, this particular node or this particular Google Sheet will always go back to this sheet every single 15 minutes and then check if there's something that needs to be updated, if there's something that needs to be generated, if there's something that needs to be what is then published, right? But I don't want at that particular pace, right? If I want to change, I can always change it to once a day or every day at a particular time. right? You can always schedule this. But for now, let's manually run and see if it is actually working or not. Okay, let's run this. First things first, I've created an idea and made it to generate content stage and I've run the make.com workflow or scenario. Now it should create me all these drafts for me. All right, let's see. It's updating it. All right, let me also open Instagram. All right, I think the Instagram is also open. This is the social media page that I've been referring to, and this is
Uh,
my yeah.
no, we can see
All
the
right,
screen now. Yeah.
great. So now if you see automatically everyone, these three are created. The image is also created. Now what should I do? This is in a ready to review stage for me. So me as a business owner will come back here and I'll be like, okay, this emoji is not looking good here. Let me remove this emoji and this also, and maybe remove this thought emoji. Yeah, everything is looking good. I will do the same here. This is fine. This is too much of emojis. I will remove all of this. And yeah, cool. This is looking good. So I've given ready for review. Yeah, let's see the image. Okay, nice. Not bad. Much better than what we had in the earlier stage. So this is good. Now, what should I do? I'll have to click on create post, right? Now remember, I did not schedule this to run automatically. I've I did not schedule this. So since it's not scheduled, you can always come in here and run here automatically or run manually. I will click on run once here. Now it will not go to the top stage because the idea is already generated and created. Now it's all about publishing. Correct. Now let's see if it is going to publish in my respective pages or not. Facebook, it says it's done. Let's see Instagram. Instagram, it also says done. Let's refresh this page. Can you see? The page is here. The caption is here with the exact same caption that I've created just now. Right. Let me open the chat in here as well as if I go to my this one, if I do this into my workflow, where is my activity? Yes. Can you see this, everyone? Hey, what happened? What's happening here? Clear. All right. Yes, of course, I'm going to delete this because I did not review it. This is for testing purposes. I'm unable to delete. Why? Is it already deleted or what? Someone also liked it. Okay. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right. So I've deleted the post. But now, if you look into this, the post is done. See, I've started the same cycle of from an idea to generation to review to publishing to post done. Correct? Everyone? So that is why this automation is super powerful in a ways where you can explode your brand identity if you just fine tune it to your flavor. Correct? Yes. Now, all your questions, all your doubts, and all your things will be answered here. I've given all the exact scenarios, problem statements, what is API, and all the related things, and how do you build this as well, right? In this sheet, in this sheet. So I'm going to share this with you as promised. But for me to share, drop your favorite food in the chat. For me to share, drop me your favorite food in the chat. I sell a lot of biryanis and pizzas. All right. Okay. Fantastic. Banana and protein shake. Wow. All right. Cool. On that note, I'm going to stop the chat on a hold for a moment. I'm going to save this for everyone. Here's the link. I'm sharing it double times. Since if you are accessing the link instantly, there might be a lot of overload on that particular sheet. Give it a moment. Don't worry, it'll open. Just save it somewhere. You'll be able to access this everything. Clear, everyone? The chat is open. Clear? Did you get the link? Wonderful. Wonderful. See, you can always see that due to heavy collaborator use already is populated. Almost more than 81 viewers are there, but I'm going to close this. Now, this is something you should always look out, and I would strongly recommend for all of you to go to templates and explore what is there in the templates. Like, what are the different things that are possible? What are the different apps you can connect? What are the different things you can do with make.com? Trust me, this will give you a direction for your entire make.com journey, right? And I'm going to share you a couple of things as well. Give me a moment. Yes. So here are my socials. Feel free to connect if you are aligned on the same page. And that's where I end the magic show for today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Akhil. And I'm loving the energy that everyone is showing on the chat. Folks, I did see, questions around whether, this kind of customization is possible or whether this process can be changed and everything. For whatever process you pick, the way you automate it is going to remain the same, right? So just like how Akhil showed you, where he drew the entire flowchart first, decided what needs to be done on make.com, and then went into make.com. That is the exact procedure that you need to go ahead and follow as well. So most of the questions or most of the ideas that all of you had put out, whether this is possible or not, all of them will be possible if you go ahead and try, as long as API keys are available for the um, for the um, you know for the platforms that you want to integrate in the automation scenario. But Akhil, as a closing note, as people are connecting with you, if you want to go ahead and give a piece of advice for anyone who is starting out in their journey of automations, what is that advice going to look like? Because I did see some people also mentioning that this is getting technical. How am I going to do it? Will I be able to do it? So, what is the piece of advice that you would like to give to everyone?
Right. I think first things first, the best problems to solve are the personal problems. That is something I believe in. So pick up the problems that you have in your day to day. Again, remember the conversation I started with is what are the problems? Like, do you feel that there is mundane problems to solve in your day? Right? Identify top three things that can at least save 1 hour or 2 hour a day. That's a big win for you, right? Identify, make a flow chart, make this automations run on a schedule, and you'll be sorted for that personal experience. Now, while you're experiencing this, or when you're exploring the make.com, you'll find different things. You'll experiment, you'll fail, you'll get your hands dirty. The moment you're comfortable, that is the point for you to go out into the market. What do I mean by go out? Probably go out, explore maybe the local restaurant or local dhaba or local food or textile or a cloth company or whatever that is, and say that, and probably observe their operations, probably observe their website, probably observe their services, and see what is there a point or an opportunity for you to automate something, right? Once you figured out an automation or a observation or an insight, just go and propose them. Say like, hey, I've seen that you're struggling with this, I can save you 2 hours here, right? My advice is for the first one or two clients, do it for free. Number one, because you are new to the game, you're new to the industry, and people don't trust you enough to pay you well. Second, once you solve these two clients, they will be your testimonial to gain go and back for the bigger clients, right? Trust me, there is a lot of scope, lot of market for automation, lot of potential that you can do with these automations if you do it right and go out there and explore and solve the real world problem for every business that they are facing. You can take the same example, social media one that I'm showing it here, fine tune it for their business, modify it, and make some money, right? That is a possibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of people today are becoming consultants as well just by mastering this specific skill. And like Akhil said, try to get the first few clients, you don't have to charge them at all. take the testimonials, and then you can go ahead and increase your clientele as you move forward as well. But go ahead and practice, and you can go ahead and connect with Akhil as well to ask any sort of questions that you might have. But thank you so much, Akhil, for being here today. I'll take it forward from here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. You have been a lovely audience. Maintain the same energy. Funny has something in store for you. You'll be mind blown. All the best.
Yes, yes. I'm going to reshare the resource links as well, folks. So, all of you who have been asking for that, don't worry. I'm going to go ahead and share that, right? But let me actually turn the chat off for a second and put in all of the resource files once again. And there is a resource file for automations as well, apart from the one that Akhil has already shared. Let me put it up on the chat, and then I'll go ahead and explain to you what this resource document is going to be all about. Just changing the chat to everyone. And Vikram, I did see your question. It is possible for you to automate your workflow as well. The thumb rule that you have to always have in your mind is, if API keys are available for the softwares that you're currently using, you will be able to use those API keys so that they are able to interact with any LLM as well. And if you are unsure of whether API keys are available or not, you could always reach out to your service provider, or you could also check it on the internet. Go to ChatGPT, put in the idea that you have, and ask ChatGPT whether it's possible for you to go ahead and automate that scenario with make.com, and you will be able to get a better idea. But all of the resource documents are on the chat right now. I've also gone ahead and shared the resource documents of session 1 and session 2 that happened yesterday, since some of you were asking for them, and session 3 and session 4 that happened today, and the resource document that Akhil has shared as well. Now, when you open the session 4 document that I have shared on the chat, you will see something like this. I'm just sharing my screen, and it's all about practice, right? You cannot learn the art of automations with just by watching tutorials, or even by attending this session. The idea for us was to expose you to this possibility, but you have to go ahead and practice. You have to build a few automations all by yourself, and that is when you will be able to believe that you can do so for any other scenarios. And I would highly recommend all of you to identify 2 to 3 scenarios in your own day to day life. It could be as simple as making an automation for replying to your emails, right? If you have a business WhatsApp account, and if that is something that you sort of use for your business, and people reach out to your business WhatsApp account, business WhatsApp account has API keys available. You can set up an automation scenario for that use case as well. You could also replicate the same automation scenario that Akhil taught you today, so that when you replicate, you're not completely lost. You know what to do and what is happening, and that is how you build the practice as well. And what we have done to push you to practice this skill is, we have created a workbook on automations, and you're all, I mean, it's there on the chat for all of you to go ahead and grab it, right? You can, this document has 3 different automation scenarios, and how you could go ahead and create them as well. We have given step by step instructions, and as you scroll down, you will also find a link that has video tutorials that will help you go ahead and practice all of these scenarios. And once you do this, that is when you can go ahead and start looking at organizational level problems that you could go ahead and probably solve, maybe in your own organization first, and then you can you know start looking at solving problems for other founders and other entrepreneurs as well, who could then become your clients. But mastering the skill first on your own is very, very important, and I hope this document and this workbook helps you do exactly that. Now, some people were asking, hey, will I have to pay to make.com to be able to create an automation scenario? When you first sign up into make.com, you will get about 100 credits that you can start with. And that will allow you to create your first few automation scenarios. But then after, beyond of that, if you want to go ahead and create on make.com, yes, you will have to take their paid plan. But what we have done is, we have included a link, a magic link inside the workbook itself, with which you can get up to 10,000 operations as well, if you would want to, when in case you use this link when you're going ahead and creating your account. And those of you who are asking, who put in questions around N8N. The reason why we chose to do make.com today and not N8N is because N8N comes with certain learning curve. Make.com is very visual. As all of you saw, we could see all of the nodes coming up very, very clearly on the screen. But once you master a platform like this, that is when you can go ahead and try your hands on N8N as well, which will allow you to create further agents. And what Akhil mentioned in the session is also very, very important, right? Go into the pre-existing templates that make.com has already, click on those templates and try to understand the workflow that already comes up on the screen, because it's a template that has already been created and you can just go ahead and plug and play. Basically make your connections and start using the automation, right? But rather than just doing that, try and understand the logic also of what is happening, and that is when you will be able to create such flows all by yourself. Is that clear? Drop in the word clear on the chat if you will go ahead and practice this. And people who are asking about, in the same automation that Akhil had created, how do you improve the images that come out? You can use a different image generation model there, and a better prompt as well. But for the purpose of the demo, we chose to keep things very, very simple. But as you learn this, you will be able to make this better as well. I have not shared the roadmap yet. I will share that once again. But I hope all of you have taken all of the resources. Yes, if you have copy pasted it in your own resource file, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I will close the chat and I'll resend that once again. And I hope all of the people who are asking for this again can go ahead and take it now. But with that, we come to the final leg of the mastermind. Let me quickly share my screen and take you all through this. Wonderful. Perfect. With this, we come to the final leg of the AI mastermind. And kudos to all of you for completing it end to end. You all chose to spend the third week of January learning entirely. You spent the time yesterday. Of course, a few people directly joined in today, but today we covered product building and automations. And I hope all of you have gotten exposed and gotten the curiosity to go ahead and try this on your own as well, because that is going to improve your learning curve further. But kudos to you for spending this time as we are getting started with this year and giving generative AI the importance that it probably deserves at this point of time, because of all the things that you can do with it. Kudos to all of you for completing the whole mastermind end to end. Now, what are the next steps from here? Well, the mastermind is supposed to only help you get that kickstarting moment, right? But beyond of this, what we are going to be doing is we are going to go ahead and give some incredible bonuses to all of you, with the idea of helping you practice from today onwards, right? The entire session is going to get over in probably the next 15 to 20 minutes, and you have the rest of the evening with you, and you have the rest of the days as well with you. The hope that we have is that everybody who attends the mastermind takes all of the resources and continues to practice. And this is something that we recommend all of the people who have joined the AI Accelerator program already to also do. Because even if you have joined the AI Accelerator program, the mastermind still becomes the base point, right? Everybody who has graduated from the AI Accelerator program also started with the mastermind itself, and we made sure that they all practiced everything in the mastermind itself. So everybody who has joined the accelerator program already, though you might be thinking that yes, this is not the end of the journey for me with Outskill, there is a program, so they will take care of my learnings there. You will be having something called as a base camp that we will be talking about tomorrow. And in that base camp, we actually make you practice everything that we taught you in the mastermind as well, using the resources that I'm going to be talking about, right? But for all of the others who, for whatever reason, cannot take that journey with us, you should also use these resources to continue to practice and keep yourselves accountable. So, do you all want to know what are the bonuses that you will all receive right now? Yes, on the chat if you are all excited to get the bonuses. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Bonus number one. Bonus number one is that you will all, to start with, receive the recordings of every session that we have conducted in this mastermind. Though I kept saying multiple times that you will not be receiving the recordings, you will go ahead and receive the recordings. It was, there is no reason for us to hold these recordings back with us. It was a lie, and I only lied for your benefit so that you stay through the entire mastermind thinking that recordings will not be provided, and focus, right? Because had I told you that recordings would be provided, you would have not completed this mastermind and felt this accomplished, because you would have spent this weekend elsewhere, and you would have probably thought that, okay, I'm any which way is going to get the recordings, I'll watch them next week or the week after that. But now the reason why we are giving the recordings to all of you is that you watch them once again at your own pace, practice it side by side. We were not able to make you do things in the interest of time, but we would want all of you to go ahead and practice everything that we taught you yesterday and today by watching the recording, right? A lot of you currently are also asking about certificates. I will get there, have some patience. But when will these resources come to you, or when will the recordings come to you? Well, it's going to take us 48 hours from now to share the recordings with you, and you're going to get it by Tuesday. Now, we would not want anybody to reach out to us for the recordings. We ourselves will send out an email to all of you by Tuesday, which will have a YouTube link, and all of the recordings will be uploaded to YouTube, and that link will be shared with you. We do it that way so that it becomes easier for everyone to go ahead and access. Is that clear? Drop in clear on the chat. Someone's like, thank you for lying. I'm glad it worked out in your favor. By Tuesday, you're going to have recordings of all of the sessions that we have conducted for you. And this is for everybody who's staying till the end, right? I mean, who is there right now. Now, along with that, while we have given you extensive documents that comprises the notes from all of the sessions, there are also workbooks, because while watching the recording, we don't want you to think that, hey, Webhook built a custom GPT for writing LinkedIn posts. What is the problem statement that I can pick? Well, we don't want you to even have, questions like that. And that is the reason why we also went ahead and built out workbooks for all of you, right? There are workbooks, and this is a link that I'm going to be sharing on the chat right now. For every session that we attended, there is a specific workbook that is being given to you so that you can go ahead and practice that as well. Siddharth, I will talk about, uh, a program that we conduct that only happens during the weekend and is slightly different from the accelerator program. I will, talk about that slightly in the next 10 minutes. There are a lot of people who ask the same question, but let me close the chat for a second and give you the workbooks, right? Perfect. These are all practice workbooks, and here we have also included a workbook on image and video generation. It's fairly simple for you to go ahead and figure that out, because every workbook, I'll just open one of them and show it to all of you. Every workbook, as you open it, you will see that there are tasks inside every workbook, right? And the task also has steps. So we have given you the steps as well that you could use to go ahead and try your hands on these activities. And these steps are all explained very, very well in very simple English. And any particular resource that is required for you to go ahead and accomplish the task, it could be a prompt, it could be in the case of custom GPTs, it could be the markdown prompting structure itself. We have included all of that inside, the respective workbooks, right? So you don't have to go anywhere. You can have the recording, and you can also have the workbook side by side and try to do all of these activities all by yourself. So you see, markdown prompting template is what we taught you. It is also there in this workbook for you to go ahead and practice, and you will find all of the other instructions as well inside the link that I have shared. And then, for all the people who are asking about the certificate, yes, for completing the mastermind, you are getting a certificate. And this is a certificate that you can go ahead and share on LinkedIn. Tag us. A lot of people do that. If you just search hashtag outskill on LinkedIn, you will see a lot of posts from people who have previously attended and gained value from this mastermind. You will see their certificates, but I will give you a quick hack as well. Along with the certificates, when you're posting it on a platform like LinkedIn or Instagram, along with the certificates, also in your own words, you can take the help of AI because you have learned how to use AI in the right way. But in your own words, by taking the help of AI, clearly articulate what are your learnings, and not just your learnings, with whatever you have learned, what are the next steps that you're taking? What are three problems that you want to solve with what you have learned? If you're building a custom GPT, what are you building the custom GPT for? Mention that also in your LinkedIn post. And if you have written notes or screenshots or taken screenshots of the slides, you can attach all of them in your LinkedIn post as well, because it is posts like these that gather attention, right? That ask for people to go ahead and share their insights. If you just post the certificate, people will be like, oh yeah, it is just some other certificate that this person has gotten. But when you actually talk about what you have learned and what are you planning to do with what you have learned, that is when people will start respecting the post that you have gone ahead and made. So how do you get this certificate? Well, I'm going to be sharing a link on the chat at this point of time. All right. There you go. There's a link that I've just dropped in on the chat. What we have done for everyone's convenience is we have removed the authentication layer from this tool at this point of time, which means you can simply go ahead, fill up your name, fill up your email address as I'm showing on the screen, and also your phone number, and click on generate my certificate. And as soon as you click on generate my certificate, you will see the page redirecting to something like this where you have your certificate ready, and you can go ahead and download it by clicking on this button. Now, if you try to do this tomorrow, it will ask you to log in, and then we have a system where we check the Zoom attendance, because I clearly told you that certificate is only going to be given to people who complete it. It checks the Zoom attendance of the participant and only then provides the certificate. But that because we are live on the call at this point of time, I'm sharing the link openly with all of you so that you can go ahead and without the authentication generate your certificate. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to generate your own certificates and download them so that you don't have to reach out to us later or think that we have not given away your certificate, right? Give me a thumbs up once you have generated your certificate and downloaded it. Perfect. I see a lot of people dropping in a thumbs up as a reaction. Few people are also laughing, seems like not sure about what, but as long as they are happy, I'm happy. All right. All right. Now, we have something else as well for all of you. And I know that I've not shared the roadmap yet. I'm going to share it right after this. Yesterday, I did tell all of you as we got started with the mastermind as to what our larger vision with Outskill is, right? And, the reason why we shifted our entire focus towards AI 2.5 years back is because we realized that this is a technology that is going to stay, just like how the internet boom happened, or just like how the uh, you know whole computer revolution itself happened back in the 90s. And internet also got started. AI is also something that we believe will stay for long, and it's very important from people from across the world to learn and start using generative AI applications, because the way the space is growing, it is the only technology that has grown so fast in just a couple of years. It's in 2022 is when the first, I mean, the earlier as well, there were many other AI models available, but they were only available for technical people to go ahead and use. But the first AI model that came out by OpenAI in November 2022, if I'm not wrong, was something that non-technical people also could use. And you can already see the growth that has happened, right? And our belief is that if people do not start using it now and start learning how these AI models work at this point of time, they will not be able to catch the bus much later, because it's going to become very, very complicated for people to understand it much later as well. And that will mean that you will lose in the race that is currently happening, right? We don't want that to happen to anyone, and that is the reason why we set a vision for ourselves, which is to help more than 100 million plus people from across the globe get started with their learning journeys when it comes to generative AI. Now, since you have attended the mastermind, and since I hope you have found value if you're listening to me at this point of time, you can also give this AI mastermind to your friends and colleagues, or your team leads or your team members at office. If you think that you have a team of 10, more than 10 plus people, and if you think that they should also get started with generative AI, and if you think that this mastermind could be a starting point for them, you could go ahead and share it with them. You could go ahead and share it with your family members. A lot of people who have attended this have also gone ahead and recommended it to their sons and daughters. Go ahead and use this opportunity to share it with whoever you want to share it with. And everybody you share it with is also going to get this mastermind for free, right? How do you do that? I'm going to go ahead and share this on the chat at this point of time. This is a way in which you can gift a learning experience this year to someone that matters to you, right? How do you do that? There's a link on the chat that I've shared. As you open that particular link, you will come to a landing page like this. And inside this landing page, you have a message that is already pre written. All that you have to do is copy this message and then go ahead and paste it wherever you want to go ahead and paste it, right? It could be WhatsApp, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, it could be Instagram. Wherever you want to paste it, you can go ahead and paste it. And anybody that you're referring to this mastermind, all that they have to do is they have to fill this form up, and they will get enrolled into the next batch of the mastermind, and hopefully have a better experience than you did as well. And every time we do this mastermind, we make sure that we update the content and only teach the most relevant things like all of you already saw. So go ahead and share this with whoever matters to you, right? And while all of you do that, is that a deal? Drop in the word deal on the chat if you're going to invite your friends or anybody else who matters to you to this mastermind. Already done? Great. While all of you do that, let me go ahead and also pull out the roadmap that we are going to be sharing with all of you. And I'll tell you why this matters as well, right? The roadmap. Once again, let me close the chat and I'm sharing my screen. Perfect. You can all see the roadmap. This is the roadmap that we are going to be giving away to everyone. I will go ahead and share this on the chat. Go deep into Gen AI. And all of the people who have already enrolled into the AI Accelerator program, you can also take a look at the roadmap, of course, but we are going to help you go through this roadmap in detail together in the first 14 days of the program, right? But for everybody else, it's my humble request to take this roadmap very, very seriously. These are only a few resources that we have honestly been able to put up here. You will find a lot of other good or extremely good resources on the internet as well. You can go ahead and learn from all of those resources that are making sense to you. But my recommendation or my request to all of you is to go from level 1 all the way till level 5 without skipping any level, because that is important for you to become an AI generalist. And I'll tell you some of the incredible things that you will be able to do once you complete this learning journey for yourself, right? And in fact, these are all the things that people who have completed our programs are currently doing. They have built products, right? And some incredible products. I was recently talking to an alumni group. So in the programs that we conduct, we group people up, right? Sometimes they go ahead with that group itself. Sometimes they create their own groups based on the comfort level that they're having, because you end up making a lot of friends inside the community. But I was talking to one such group very, very recently, couple of days back, and what they're working on is a problem. Three non technical people coming together, working on a problem statement that is actually helping, and if it works out, it can help billions of people, because the idea that they're working on is something related to the healthcare space. Because when you today go into a hospital, and when you today speak to, let's say your doctor initially for your consultation, post the consultation the doctor gives you a prescription, and then says that this is the prescription that you need to take to the medical shop, take the medicines, and then follow the timings that are mentioned on the prescription. But once you go back home, you don't have your doctor next to you. You have to blindly follow what is written on the prescription. And if you have a question, you again have to either talk to the assistant doctor at the hospital, and if the assistant doctor is not available, you have to make another visit to the hospital, and all of that. Now these people have identified this problem because they have been in the healthcare space for a very, very long time, and in spite of being non technical, have built out an incredible product that solves for post consultation inside hospitals, where you can, whenever you want, chat with the doctor. You have an AI model as well that sort of helps you, because if you think that AI can't help, or AI agents can't help in a situation like this, you when you go very deep into this roadmap, right, you will understand things like RAG systems, etc. So it's not always a predicted response that comes up. It is, when I can't say this without sounding slightly technical, but you can attach, very, very large knowledge banks and all of that when you are building agents, and AI agents will have the ability to go through these knowledge banks and pick out information that you probably would not be able to understand with your naked eye, right? So very, very incredible, problem statements are being solved by a lot of people, but who have gone deeply into this roadmap. And that can happen to you as well when you go ahead and learn all of this. So I've shared it on the chat. I will go ahead and put it up once again on the chat. Take this up, go level wise from level 1 to level 5. Either you can use the resources that are provided in this document, or you can use your own resources as well, but continue your learning journey from today itself after we hop off the mastermind, right? So I think that covers everything that we wanted to go ahead and share with all of you. By the way, once you complete this entire roadmap, irrespective of how much time it takes for you to go ahead and do it, once you complete it, you will stand at a place where you will have a lot of opportunities with which you can monetize. Not everyone is going deep into generative AI. And that's an added advantage if you take that plunge right now before everybody else does. Because 5 to 7 years down the line, you will see a lot more people becoming generalists, because that is what the market wants. But if you are ahead of all of them, that is when you will be able to get opportunities that exist today. You could either build products, monetize those products by putting up subscription fee, or make them B2B to C products, or you could become consultants as well, wherein you are taking on the problem statements that other business owners are having, and you are solving those problems with AI and building these AI systems for them. And if you're someone who has more than 15 plus years of experience, you already should be working on AI strategy for your organizations, or you already should be hiring people who know about AI. So for all of the senior people, it has become mandatory to upskill when it comes to generative AI, right? So I hope all of you take that journey, and I hope that journey goes very, very well for all of you, right? But we had a few people enrolled into the accelerator program earlier today when I spoke about it during the lunch break, and all of those people who have enrolled today will be receiving your confirmation emails by the end of today. And what happens is, there is a point of contact from our team that gets assigned to everybody who joins the accelerator program. So you will also be assigned a specific point of contact for the accelerator program, who will be getting in touch with you on WhatsApp and over call if you have already enrolled, and they will guide you in terms of the whole onboarding process. And we will also be inviting all of the people who have already enrolled to a separate session tomorrow, where we are going to go ahead and give more details about how the program is going to unfold, what are the accesses that you need to have, all about the coupon codes of the tools and everything else. There are a few people who put in on the chat while Akhil was teaching whether you can grab a slot right now. Well, there are two accelerator slots that are still available. 18 out of the 20 slots that we opened got done. There are two more that are available. So I'm dropping the link again. If there are more than two people, then we cannot help it. But if anybody wants to get it right now, you still can by clicking on the link that I've shared on the chat. Now, few of you also asked, hey, is there anything that only happens during the weekends? Well, yes. We also have a fellowship program and we have a no code track for it. We also have a coding track for it, right? But the fellowship programs that run only on the weekends, they don't get done in like 14 days or in like a month. This is a program that goes on for 6 entire months. So we have two variations of um, the program. One is the accelerated version, which is what we spoke about already, and we gave a flash offer for everyone to go ahead and enroll into this earlier. It's the 14-day program with 1 year weekly live sessions and 3 content libraries. Uh, Primary crux of this program being the 14-day live program itself, right? But we have another version of this program as well, which is the same but slightly an extended version, which is the 6 month AI Generalist Fellowship Program or the 6 month AI Engineering Fellowship Program. Now, what is the difference? The only difference is that while in the accelerator program, the goal is to teach you level 1 to level 5 in 14 days and make you build. Here in the fellowship program, we go slightly slower, right? The concepts that we teach are largely the same. We still stick to the same level 1 to level 5 roadmap, but we go slower. We make you build on the go, and the sessions only happen during the weekends, which is Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST, and that can be converted to any other time zone as well, right? Now, why is this a 6 month long program? Primary reason is because it only happens during the weekends and we go slow. So there are a few additional sessions that we conduct in the fellowship program because this track is meant for learners who like to learn slow and practice on the go and are okay to spend more time learning. Now, because this is an extended version, there is a difference in the costing of the fellowship program as well. Of course, we are running a special price for it. While the price of the fellowship program is twice of the accelerator program, as of today, if you get selected for it, you can enroll by paying an enrollment fee of 1.95 lakh rupees. Now, why did I say that if you get selected? It is because there is an enrollment process that everybody has to follow in case you want to take the fellowship program. What is that? There is an interview that we conduct, or you can think of it as a one-to-one conversation that we have with you to ask you where are you currently in your own AI journey and in your career journey as well, because the fellowship program is not truly meant for all. 6 month long program it is, right? Lot of people earlier we have seen dropping off as well and not completing the program, and that is not something that we are okay with, because we would want people who are taking our programs to get the outcomes so that they are going ahead and recommending our programs to others as well, right? That will only happen if we make sure that you are getting the outcome. And in a 6 month long model, that becomes difficult in case you do not have that level of motivation, right? So, since day one, what we have been doing is the 6 month program. We don't take in people directly. We always have a one on one conversation. And for that one on one conversation, or the application fee of this program itself is 5,000 rupees on our website. But today, if you are interested in taking a weekend only program, you can block an interview slot if you are amongst the first 150 people to do so. This interview slot is an opportunity for you to discuss about your own career journey, your plans for the future, where are you in your AI journey, and how is it that you can continue to learn if you are someone who feels that you cannot learn in the accelerated manner, right? So I've shared the link for all of you to go ahead and block an interview with our team. we have only been able to make 150 interview slots free. Though the interview booking amount usually is 5,000 rupees, I went back to our team and I said we should do this as well because a lot of questions came around weekend batches only, right? But since there is a 30 to 45-minute conversation that we would like to have, we of course can't have that with thousands of people, right? And that is the reason why we had to cap it at 150 people and make it free only for the first 150 people who are going ahead and blocking their bookings right now or their interview slots right now. This booking this interview slot is free for you, and the conversation is also going to be free for you. And the person that you're going to be meeting on the other side is going to be from our AI research team, right? So they have gone deep into generative AI themselves, and they will be coming on the call to sort of help you with specific questions that you might be having. Now, how do you book an interview slot? You click on the link that I've shared on the chat. Once you click on the link, you will be able to find certain slots available. You can see slots on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let us say that Tuesday works out for you. You can click on Tuesday and pick any time slot and enter the details that we are asking for over here, including your industry and including the years of experience that you have and which track you may prefer, whether the coding track or the non-coding track. Now, if you are confused based on your career goals, you can pick any of these for now and have the discussion with our team when you get on the call. And you can also drop in your LinkedIn URL, right? It will allow us to go through your profile and be prepared for the conversation before we even have it. And ultimately, you'll have to click on schedule event, and that will make sure that your 30-minute slot gets blocked and you're getting it for free in the first 150. We have bookings coming in. I'm not sure how many are still open. So, in case you are even remotely interested, you can go ahead and do so right now. And as all of you do this, before we wrap up, right, I also wanted to tell all of you, because a lot of, I believe, students reached out to us saying, why are we rejecting their bookings? Well, it's because of this that I'm showing you right now, right? If you look at the cohort demographics, 50% of all of our cohorts are filled with people who have 5 to 10 years of experience. 40% of the cohort is always filled with people who have 10 plus years of work experience. And I'm talking about work experience here in whatever domain. The domain does not matter, right? So 90% of all of our cohorts are filled with people who have at least more than 5 years of work experience. And only 10% of the cohort, we sometimes select